Taylor, congratulations. Fiery match start to finish. We'll get to it all. Can you fill us in on the conversation you were having with Jelena out there?
Yeah, I mean, it's competition. People get upset when they lose, and you can't. Some people say bad things. She told me I have no class, I have no education, and to see what happens when we get outside the U.S. So I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I beat her in Canada outside the U.S. I beat her in New York outside the U.S. So let's see what else she has to say.
You were.
Saying I have no education and no class. I don't really take that personally because I know that it's so far from the truth and so far from anything. And again, if I allow what other people have to say about me affect me in that way, then they win. So ultimately, no, I stood up for myself and I kept in my mind in that moment how I wanted to portray myself and how I wanted to show up. And if my son were to see this interaction, how would he view it? And I think he would be proud of the way that I handled the situation.
Hello, wonderful good people. Welcome once again to another episode of my YouTube channel. For those who are new here, I'm Marvin, and please and kindly feel free to hit the subscribe icon below and follow my page. If you find this video educative, of value and of essence, you can as well share to your family and friends so that all of them can know what is going on around them. With the first video, we can clearly get to understand why we are here. We are going to defend the Black American family from all white supremacists. This move will clearly make the black girl even more richer than she was even before the match. This white tennis player, Jelena Ostapenko, clearly made a racist remark to this black girl, Taylor Townsend, that she has no class, she has no education. This shows how the white supremacists, the white people, clearly undermine the black Americans. Why would you make such a horrible remark when you have lost a match? These two players, they are big names in the tennis player world, but when the black girl won, it was all over that it is only the white people who were supposed to win the match. If it was the other way around, the black girl made the racist remark or taunted the other party, it would have been all over the social media. But it is only the content people who are bringing you what happened here. Well, this shows you how the black American families are undermined in this regime. If it was Taylor who made the racist chant to Ostapenko, clearly all the media, the ABC News, the Al Jazeera, I believe, the CNN, all of them will be highlighting what happened, and keen and immediate measures would have been taken to punish Taylor Townsend. But if this is a move that only is against the black Americans, when this video goes viral, clearly the black woman will get the justice she truly deserves. It is such a shame to the white people because the black Americans are used to winning. We can also see Serena Williams. She is a person who has been used to racist chants, but she has stood steadfast, focused on her career. I would advise Taylor Townsend to focus on her career, to focus on making herself rich, because we will make this video go viral. She will get the justice she truly deserves. This is not acceptable in the black American family. Black Americans are educated. That's why we can see how Taylor Townsend reacted to this chance, because she knows that if she had beat up the white girl, clearly she would have faced the justice immediately. But it is her who has faced the racist remarks. That's why no media has been talking about it. Only the TikTok family and the YouTube family. No news coverage is being done up to now. Let's watch the following videos I've compiled, and we'll come back at the end and discuss the subject matter, and we'll clearly come back to a conclusion that is this a racist moment at the US Open, Who between the two parties were guilty? Is it Taylor Townsend or Jelena Ostapenko? Let's watch the following
situation.
Jelena Ostapenko didn't just lose to Taylor Townsend. She lost and tried to question her class and education. That's the oldest trick in the book. They did it to Serena. They did it to Venus. They're still doing it to Coco. And let's be real. Black folks, I'm going to call you out. We do it to each other. Because when black excellence shows up, the world scrambles for a way to delegitimize it. They can't just say you won. They can't say you on your shit. They gotta say you don't belong. And you know what? I deal with this myself all the damn time.
Taylor Townsend's win last night is just another example of how the old guard in tennis still upholds the same exclusionary and sometimes racist values that it was built upon. We did an entire deep dive on our Substack, so definitely check out the link in bio, really about the entire shift that has happened with the tennis old guard versus this new era, just ushering such a diverse audience and allowing tennis to be way more accessible because of names like Taylor Townsend. It's just so frustrating though, because she is absolutely going to become a way bigger celebrity because of this, but it's so frustrating because it has to come at conflict versus just how she played the game, which was incredible, by the way, and instead come because she was faced with microaggressions after the game, being called uneducated, saying she's not following the rules of tennis, which essentially is just racism. She handled it beautifully and with so much grace, but it's so unfortunate that she had to even face those types of questions instead of talking about her game. And unfortunately, history just repeats itself. We did a deep dive and really included a lot of the information around Maria Sharapova and Serena Williams because all of this has happened again and it continues to happen constantly, which again is so frustrating because as tennis has become so much more accessible and the US Open is honestly a cultural moment in America at this point, that you'd hope that the rules and the culture around it shifts too. And it has in some degree, but I don't know if it's really been happening from within and more of an external force. But let's also raise a glass to Taylor Townsend. Icon status, because she dropped a dump on Instagram today and made it to the instrumental of Knuck If You Buck. And to be honest, I don't know what is more iconic than that. So absolutely love you, Tay-Tay, and can't wait to see her career skyrocket from here because she deserves every last bit of it.
So we just gonna ignore the fact that little Miss Jelena Ostapenko decided that she was gonna go to Taylor Townsend after the US Open second round and have words with her because she lost. Yeah, she said, and you can pause and read what she said. Yeah, that's what she said. So my question is, why is she arrested? Didn't she threaten? Isn't that a threat? Isn't that a threat? And Miss Taylor, you handled that with such class, such dignity, because Lord knows if you had have taken that to any other level, things would have went left for you. It would not have went in your favor. So I'm so glad that you upheld your poise and you were so much better than that. It's the same thing that happened with Venus and Serena Williams, the same thing that happened with Coco Gauff. You guys get on the court and you play against them and you lose, but you can't take the fact that you're losing to them. They were the better opponent. If you want to beat them, you do it the old school way. Practice makes perfection. Isn't that what they say? Get out there and work harder. You out there practicing 2 hours a day, practice 4. But to say that to her is disgusting. It is disgusting. You are supposed to be a role model, somebody that people look up to, children look up to. But who would want that type of role model? Who wants to look up to that type of person? Make it make sense. Why would anybody want to look up to you? Why isn't she being held accountable for her words, for her actions? Because Lord knows if it was the other way around, it would have already happened. It would have already happened. It would have been everywhere. So I'm just confused as to why she's not being held accountable the same way Miss Taylor would have been held accountable had the roles been reversed. It doesn't make any sense. She needs to be held accountable for her actions. Point blank, period.
When I say I'm super proud of how Taylor handled herself after that match with, I don't know if her name is Jelena, whatever. How she handled that match with her, and she won, and she went to go shake her hand, and the girl has the audacity to call her uneducated and classless. What? You just lost. And this ain't your first time losing against her. This is a many times of you losing against her. But it's also crazy that you're known for being a sore loser. You're known for that. Like, if anything, get your weight up. Come back and try to win against her. But to talk trash and you lost? Like, you gotta be so butthurt to call a person uneducated for a tennis match. What does my education have to do with this current tennis match that you couldn't beat me in? You couldn't win. But it shows your character. It shows that you're a sore loser. And that's all that you've been hearing about that girl, is that she's a sore loser. I'm so proud of how Taylor handled herself. She spoke up. She didn't even use the race card and say that old girl intent was racist. She said, I don't know what her intent was, but I know she lost. And we all know that. You lost real bad. You looked real bad. They need to give you some coaching skills on how not to be a sore loser. It's one thing to talk trash when y'all are playing or whatever the case, but after you done lost, girl, you ain't got no.
So let's break this all the way down. So Taylor Townsend just beat Jelena Ostapenko in straight sets at the US Open yesterday. And instead of shaking hands like a professional, Ostapenko walks up and says, you have no class, no education. Let's see what happens when we play outside the United States. So while she's saying this, she's literally pointing at Taylor's face and jabbing her finger down toward her like she's trying to shrink her, put her in her place. That's not just disrespect, it's intimidation. It's visual domination. And when it's done to a Black woman on a world stage, it's not just personal, it's political. Telling a Black woman she has no education is not random. That's a dog whistle. It's the same rhetoric that's been weaponized for centuries to strip Black women of our intellect, our value, our place. And it's always used when we win, when we disrupt the narrative, when we dare to take up space. And no class, another tired line meant to shame us when we don't smile and shrink. Townsend didn't gloat. She didn't disrespect anyone. She won. And suddenly, that's a problem. So then when she says, let's see what happens when we play outside the United States, what are you really saying? That she only wins because of some imagined home court advantage? Or is it a warning that outside the United States, a Black woman like Townsend will get put back in her place? That's not a tennis critique. That's racialized language. That's veiled aggression. And in that moment, pointing in her face, speaking down to her, dripping with entitlement, it wasn't just about losing a match. It was about punishing a Black woman for daring to be excellent in a space that wasn't built for her. And through all of that, Townsend stood tall and said, I'll let my racket talk. That is grace. That's composure. That is what real class looks like. Now, I want to see that same professionalism from the United States Tennis Association and the US Open leadership. Ostapenko should be fined. There needs to be disciplinary action because when Black athletes are met with hostility, verbal or physical, and nothing is done, the message is clear. You're going to protect the game, but not the people in it. If the roles were reversed, if this behavior had been directed at a white player, it wouldn't even be up for debate. It would be action, immediate and loud. Racism in sports doesn't always show up in slurs. Sometimes it's in the tone, the words, the body language, the finger in the face, the need to diminish and dominate. And if the tennis world stays silent now, you're telling Black athletes exactly where you stand.
I believe all of you are still here with me. For those who are here, congratulations. It is not an easy journey to be here with me up to now. I believe all of you are furious up to now because Black Americans are used to winning. Black Americans are used to get on the winning streak all over the social media. In basketball, in football, in the NFL, now it is the tennis world. Clearly, this is not good at all. I don't back this at all. From the question I asked you at the beginning of this session, I have the answers for you. Yes, this was clearly a racist chant to the black girl. Because why would you say a person has no education, has no class? This shows you also how the white supremacists undermine the black Americans family. They see you as nobody. They take you as people who should always be at the bottom. Well, the white supremacists seem and they view themselves as only the winners. They see no one else should be above them. We all congratulate Taylor Townsend for her win on the US Open, and we wish her all the best in her upcoming matches. On the other hand, justice should be served. Jelena Ostapenko clearly should face justice and she should be dropped from the tournament because it undermines the fair play in the tennis world. Clearly, the black Americans also should come together. They should unite. They should make this video go viral because they should also share this video up so that Taylor Townsend can get the justice she truly deserves. Well, I back this black lady up, and I will also make sure she gets what she truly deserves. We want to make her rich from the chant she received. She didn't deserve such kind of treatment from a person. This is a tournament. Clearly, when you are beaten or you lost a match, clearly you should behave in a professional manner. You should applaud the other opponent. Do not come and stay and say somebody or try to say she has no education, she is not of class. But Taylor Townsend clearly showed her that I am of class and I am educated even more than you. That's why I am behaving in such a manner. She behaved in a cool and steady manner. That's why the media is backing her up, and the media also wants her to get the proper apology, the proper treatment, the proper approach she truly deserves. Let me know your comments and I will humbly respond to you people. Was it right for this white lady Jelena Ostapenko to react in the manner in which she reacted? Do you applaud what Taylor Townsend did? She said thank you, and she also congratulated Jelena Ostapenko on how she played. This shows you how the black American family always appreciate their opponents. But when you come and approach them, they won't stay silent, but they will get the media to back them up from what you're going to see. Let me know your comments and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe and share and also like this video up. See you on the next episode. Bye family.